now evidence indicating that prosecutors in the Breonna Taylor case tried to get her ex-boyfriend to enter a plea deal where he would name her as a co-defendant. Now we know about this because the lawyer representing Breonna Taylor's family posted screenshots of this on social media, confirming that prosecutors were in fact attempting to do this. The story really does highlight how prosecutors in Louisville, Kentucky are getting pretty desperate in their attempts to justify the shooting death of Breonna Taylor. She was murdered in her own home in the middle of the night, past midnight, by plainclothes cops who obtained a no-knock warrant by lying to the judge about the post office telling them that there were suspicious packages delivered to Breonna Taylor's home, okay? There is nothing justifying the fact that she was shot and killed. She was hit 8 times with bullets. So I gave you the backstory, but let me tell you what we know now about this attempted plea deal, which luckily did not work. Now, again, this is based on the ex-boyfriend who prosecutors had alleged was storing his drugs and money in Breonna Taylor's home. Keep in mind that Breonna Taylor had a current boyfriend who she was living with, Kenneth Walker, okay? So the draft of a plea deal would have required Glover, that's the ex-boyfriend, to name Taylor, who worked as an ER technician, and several others as co-defendants, legally identifying Taylor as an accomplice and a witness in the case, a claim Taylor family attorney Sam Uygur says was BS, okay? Taylor has never named or was never named as a co-defendant in any official plea deal offering, according to Commonwealth's attorney Thomas Wine, who said in a statement on Monday that the name was included as part of a pre-indictment plea negotiation and was later removed out of respect for Mrs. Taylor, okay? And just a reminder, and this is the story, this is the part of the story at least that gets, I think, intentionally left out when right-wingers try to talk about this, right? To justify how she was murdered. They lied, the cops lied to a judge in order to obtain a no-knock warrant. And then they showed up to that home in the middle of the night, plainclothes cops, so you can't tell who they are. And they justified indiscriminately opening fire after Breonna Taylor's boyfriend thought they were intruders. Any reasonable person would think they're intruders. And he fired a warning shot. And that after that, they just decided to shoot indiscriminately. Breonna Taylor was shot 8 times. A day before the raid, a detective asked a judge to approve the warrant in part because he claimed a postal inspector verified that Glover was using Taylor's home to receive parcels, the affidavit says. But US Postal Inspector Tony Gooden in Louisville said Metro Police did not use his office to verify that a drug suspect was receiving packages at Breonna Taylor's apartment, one of the factors listed in officers' request for the no-knock warrant in her home. In fact, he said a different law enforcement agency asked his office in January to investigate whether Taylor's home was receiving any potentially suspicious mail. After looking into the request, he said the local office concluded that it wasn't. Here's a direct quote from the postal inspector. There's no packages of interest going there. They lied about the warrant. They lied to obtain the warrant and then did what they did. And Breonna Taylor is gone. She was murdered in mid-March, and there's been no justice in that case. Not a single cop has been charged.
So none of the cops who were charged that were there, none of the cops who asked for the warrant were charged. Only one was fired. The rest are still employed and being paid by the taxpayers. And let's be clear, if you lied in court, you'd go to jail. Cops lie in court, it's Tuesday, like any other day. Cops are notorious liars and they're above the law. And so they lie in court all the time. And what does the media tell you? Oh, well, if you see a cop on the stand, he obviously has a lot more credibility than any defendant. A black defendant. As Trump said about the Central Park Five, who were totally innocent, they were probably up to no good anyway. They're all guilty, but the cops, they're perfectly innocent, driven as the pure, pure as a driven stone. No, the cops clearly lied there. It's been months and months and months. Still, golly gee, I can't. Hey, I can murder someone in a couple of seconds, put 8 bullets in their body. I don't know or care if they did it or didn't do it or what they did. And we had already arrested the guy and we knew that. And we lied to get the warrant in the first place. We indiscriminately shot and murdered this person. Don't care at all. We do it in seconds. Tamir Rice, 12-year-old kid, we shot him and killed him in 2 seconds, right? A cop did something wrong. I mean, look, man, it's only been 4 or 5 months. We're still looking into it. And he's got a union who says we are not allowed to do anything to him. He can kill, lie, maim, do anything he wants. And cops, we bow down to cops. Is this gonna get fixed? No, Trump is gonna enable them to do much, much worse. If Biden wins, he says, I'm gonna give more money to the cops. Is the Democratic Party ever going to fix it? No, not this current Democratic Party, because they're afraid of their own shadow. No, we're gonna prove to Trump that we could also be more in favor of cops. So there's 1,000 Breonna Taylors you haven't heard of that are out there, killed by the authorities and never got any justice. And unfortunately, that's the history of this country.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.